Good evening. Welcome. I am happy to share my kitchen with you. My name is David Sponheim, and today I'm going to be making Steakghetti. Yeah, it's going to be defined by a singular taste of one or two particular slabs of meat here. What I've been doing is marinating some past due meat that I had in the freezer, and it's cube steak, basically. And I'm going to be adding a full onion, a full green pepper, about a half a package of mushrooms. So I'm going to say it's about $1.50 in those ingredients. And then I have my famous dollar store tomatoes. So let me see if I can move this over so you can look at it better. Yep. And these are $1 for all these diced tomatoes from California. So we're going to get started. We're also going to need spaghetti. So I think the spaghetti, the pasta, angel hair pasta, non-GMO, will cost about $1. $1 for that, $2.50, $2.50. I'm going to say $1 worth of mushrooms, $3.50. And the meat costs $3. So I'm going to say $7. Give you some expansion. You can also replace the cube steak, of course, with ground meat. But I was telling everybody in the room that they determined that ground meat had 9 different types of animals in it. It's like, okay, 9 different animals. This, I can assure you, is just 2 different animals because I got it from 2 separate packages. Now this has been sitting in a vinegar and papaya meat tenderizer for a day. So what I'm going to do is cut this. It's just literally falling off with the fork. See that? It's just falling right off. I'm going to cut this with a very sharp Cutco knife. So let me set the mic up. The camera. Take a look at that. Not tube steak, cube steak. Okay? God, man. That's all you think about. Okay, we're going to cut up the meat in just quarter or half-inch pieces. And I've got a Cutco knife, so it's got a perma blade. This meat is just falling right off. It's just breaking right up. I could practically tear it apart with a fork. Look at that. Yeah, it is. So the marination, they say, lowers cholesterol if you marinate something for over a day, or at least a day. Yeah, you want to make sure all this meat is kind of broken into half-inch chunks. All right, and this is raw, and this is past due. So when it hit the shelf, it was already, probably 2 weeks old. As you know, I'm trying to get away from cooking meat in this form, or any form. But obviously, what I want to do is define the meat I'm eating as opposed to ground beef. I have a feeling that I'm really kind of risking it eating ground beef, which I don't do. So, but with all the things they put in ground beef, why take chances, right? So cube steak, you can make fajitas out of this. It's pretty good. You can you can flat out cook it on a grill. That's how they make it. They run it through a machine to break it up initially, so it's perfect for tenderization. Whoops. The meat went over the edge. I gotta rinse it off. Of course, my floor is hermetically sealed, so there's no. I wash the floor, quite a bit, so it's not like dirty. But if you have a dirty floor, you don't want to eat that meat. Yeah, so this is kind of tedious. This is the one part that you're sitting here going, I don't really want to do this. Now, if you have a food processor, you can just throw these things in there and go zip, zip, and you're done. And I have a food processor, but I kind of like the old-fashioned feel of touching the meat when I'm cooking. Don't go anywhere with that thought. Thank you. All right, so I hope everyone's having a great day. Sarah normally isn't very heavy. Sarah is actually perfect. She's more than I've ever known her right now. So when we first got to know each other, she was like 125 pounds, which is not really that healthy for a woman who's 5'11". But I'm sure some models would disagree. Okay, I'm almost done here. These are basically 2 packages of meat. I got this for $1.50 a pound, or roughly $2 a pound. So we're looking at about 1.5 pounds of meat, in case you're wondering. All right. Yeah, this is tedious. I knew this was going to be the tough part. Actually, uploading XSplit today was the tough part. We delayed our show because I had to do an upgrade. It was essential. Yeah. If you get any sinew in there, you don't want sinew. So I have some compostable stuff here. I think we're almost there. Okay, sinew. All right, we're good. Okay. Can't buy no spam, yeah. Spam, yeah. I will not eat spam. That's one thing I will not eat. Okay, we're gonna cut that onion. This is a pretty good one. This was part of my sweet onion purchase. Organic sweet onions from Yakima. Cool. Yeah, that cold is still like kind of hanging on. I'm telling you guys, 7 days, and you still have a cough with this coronavirus. I really feel like it's been genetically altered. I remember the coronavirus when it first came out in the 80s, and it didn't have the hold that it has over us now. It's kind of like they bioengineered a deadly virus, which sucks for us, doesn't it? A lot of you are overtaken by the depression of living in a modern world where everything seems so out of control, you know. I'm gonna get some water down here. Yeah, it seems like we don't have any say in the matter. Like these freaks are doing this to the environment without consulting human beings. Hey, yeah, viewer counter, what's up, man? Question? I have some skills, yeah. Potted meat is 100 times worse than spam? No kidding, really. What do you think of Vienna sausages? I heard an illegal alien he killed himself after being deported back to Mexico within 30 minutes. Yeah. You can blame Donald Trump for that. You had to refresh 56,000 times to come in here. Well, tell that to Mark. Mark says there's absolutely no capacity server screens hitting this show. And he stood there laughing. It looked like he was giddy because he's making so much money. And I confronted him and he said he had 2 cars. He bought 2 cars with all the money he's making. Yeah, and you know what he said? He said that the real source of his income, now get this, the VIP basic packages, the ones that don't show that people have VIP status. That's like $9.95 a month, he said. And I asked everybody in the room, and I can ask all of you too, but don't bother answering. Are you paying $9.95 a month to go in here? I just think that's so funny. And I caught him in all these statements that just don't rhyme. They don't ring true. They just don't ring true. Nothing makes sense other than somebody's paying you to censor us, Mark. That's the only thing that makes sense. Okay, take that burner up to level 4. I'm going to get going on this. Whoops. Wrong burner. It helps to have the right burner, Dave. All right, so go with just chopping a 1/4-inch diced onions. Whoa, see, these are dangerous. It's good my finger wasn't there. Or you would have seen the first experience of me cutting myself since I was 9 years old. I learned the hard way, man, to handle a knife properly. I cut myself when I was working on a sandwich one day, and I bled out like a stuck hog. Practically passed out when I was 9 years old. Well, let me see what your response is. Yeah. Trump bashing and cooking simultaneously. Cool. Yeah, that's green pepper looks nice, doesn't it? Those are made in Mexico. And I get them from Mexico now because the southern part of the earth, south of the, or near the equator, has less radiation than the northern latitudes. Yeah, so I figured, yeah, green peppers from Mexico, whatever. I barbecue, yeah. Looking good. Good talk last night, Tech Walla. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, talking about what's going on in our lives is kind of the thing that makes this such an interesting party because we get. I don't mind getting a little personal with people, kind of expand out, get to know you better, figure out what's going on in the world that makes all of us tick. Okay, when that pan's kind of warmish, you can put in 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You guys heard about the olive oil scam that's going on? Italians are being busted. These mafia figures have been rigging oil with canola oil instead of olive oil and selling it as olive oil. So a lot of brands are being called back. You may want to check your brand. This Kirkland brand I got at Costco was okay. Okay, getting that warm at 4. I'm gonna get the hot water going. I'm gonna put filtered water in here. I'm gonna fill it up about almost half, not quite half. All right. We're gonna make some vermicelli, or actually capellini or angel hair. Preferably angel hair, starting with angel hair. Rear burner, take it up to 4 as well. We're gonna ramp this up kind of fast. Okay, good. Okay, that pan is getting ready. Let's see if I can get a sizzle sound on that. I gotta throw this grizzle out. I know, I bet it will end up really gross, but so tasty. You'll get pitted. It'll be so good. Massaging the cube steak here. Now, one of the things you can do with the meat while it's sitting is put garlic powder or anything. I use chili powder. Kind of dust it with chili powder. This is also going to be dusted with Italian seasoning. And I got some amazing custom Italian seasoning. Cantanzaro herbs, it's called. It's a mixture of lemon peel, marjoram, basil, Mediterranean thyme, rosemary, oregano, and garlic. So I'm going to throw a whole teaspoon on this stuff. We got this at an herb store, but Italian seasoning will do. Throw that right on the meat. I'm going to go a little bit more. A full heaping teaspoon of Italian seasoning. All right. I think we might get a sizzle. Let's see. No. Landed flat. All right, this onions are going in anyway. Whoa! Major faux pas. Oh, now that you got the sizzle. Oh man. That's dangerous. Wow, I'm wiping it up. I just spilled water on my glass top grill. Boy, I'm a little off my game, aren't I? Must have been that cold that hit me. It serves me right for putting a glass of water in the front. Well, luckily that wasn't a major disaster. It wasn't an electrocution. Okay, I'm going to put more of those onions on there. And then I'm going to take, and these mushrooms right here, a half a container of mushrooms. Yeah. I'm going to have to dice them up a little bit more. So I'm going to chop them up here. But that's still pretty fast over regular mushrooms that are full. Put those in there. Okay. All right. Man, that was some experience, wasn't it? I'm going to take another paper towel and wipe off that top back there. Yeah, it happens. Okay. Sometimes water will etch onto something if it's not dried up, especially if it's tap water. This is filtered water, so it should be fine. Okay, there we go. Let's see how we're doing. How's everybody going here? Smooshy, smooshy. I know the pan wasn't hot enough. I started everything too late. I'm running behind. Yeah. Failure on cam live. Oh no, I know. This is the French cut knife. You notice how that blade is curved? Slight curve. It makes you go like that better when you're cutting. Okay, I'm going to cut this green pepper up. You know, I'm going to throw all these mushrooms in here. I mean, how can you skimp on mushrooms, right? Why would anyone want to skimp on mushrooms? Have you ever just taken an entire container of mushrooms and half a quarter, or a quarter, like an eighth of a thing of butter, and just cooked it right up with garlic? Man, it is incredible. That's a favorite dish up in Nova Scotia.